commentary team are Ron Atkinson and first Clive Tilsley.
Just 2 minutes in the Wembley spotlight. Last year, Gianluca Vialli steps back into the shadows altogether this time. The Chelsea player-manager making the final sacrifice. He's not even a substitute. Mark Hughes takes his place for his 10th Wembley Cup final. Both Graham Lasso and Frank Leboeuf are fit. 8 of Ruud Gullit's FA Cup winners face Middlesbrough again today.
Yeah, they'll line up in a 4-4-2 formation. Zola will play in a position we understand he prefers, right up alongside Mark Hughes. They're a little bit short of width on the left-hand side, and I can see Graham Lasso being asked to make an awful lot of forward runs from that position.
Middlesbrough kick off with only 3 of their FA Cup final team and without Paul Gascoigne. Paul Merson is back from England duty to play behind the Latin strike force of Marco Branca and Hamilton Ricard. Gazza is on the bench.
Flat back 4, 3 very solid workers, Maddison and Musto and Townsend in front of that. Paul Merson will play loose behind the 2 strikers, Branca and Hamilton Ricard.
And so the national obsession that is Paul Gascoigne begins his latest chapter on the substitutes bench, apparently at his own request, out of respect to the players who got buried at Wembley. Peter Jones, who took charge of a fiery charity shield here in August involving Chelsea, is today's referee. It's the real thing this year, all right. Coca-Cola final spilling over with storylines and headlines and a fast track into Europe. Somebody will go home with a UEFA Cup place and the first major trophy of the season, even if penalties are necessary. Hughes against Pearson will be one of the key contests of the afternoon. Here's Dennis Wise, bundled over by Robbie Musto. But at least Middlesbrough have reached their first landmark of the afternoon. They've gone 43 seconds without conceding a goal to Chelsea, whose fans were singing, "Score in a minute, we're going to score in a minute," as the 2 sides left the tunnel. Di Matteo, of course, was the history maker that day.
Middlesbrough have actually started with Merson on the right-hand side of their midfield. I wonder whether that's a contingency plan to try and block Lasso's anticipated forward runs down.
Here is Lasso, onto Di Matteo. Musto in pursuit. And Musto eventually getting in the challenge, and here is Paul Merson now, making Lasso go back down the field and chase him. It might reach Branca, good anticipation that by Frank Sinclair, who came across from right back and got in front of Marco Branca.
He just got the feeling if Branca had attacked that ball, he'd been clear favourite in front of Sinclair. Good run, good ball across from Merson.
Merson was spared the last 10 minutes of England's international in Bern on Wednesday, having scored the goal which spared some England blushes in that friendly international. Townsend is limping away from the scene of that foul. Both Steve Vickers and Nigel Pearson are forward here. Festa has some space on the right-hand side. Merson, though, a little bit of space there as it was turned across the face of the goal by Neil Maddison, and nobody tracked the Middlesbrough midfield play there. Pearson is still forward inside the Chelsea penalty area. Musto into Ricard. Might come here for Maddison! Well, he's in good goal-scoring form at the moment. Neil Maddison, 4 in the half-dozen matches that he's played for Middlesbrough since his recall to his favoured spot in midfield.
I think that's probably a better chance than Neil Maddison thought it was. Seemed to be reaching for it in his stride. Certainly didn't get over it. But quite an encouraging start for Middlesbrough.
Merson on the ball. Ran away from Lasso, out from Di Matteo. It's still Paul Merson. LeBeuf got in the block.
Oh, I don't think he should have been releasing it then, Paul Merson.
Now Maddison. Dubry slipped, but Ricard was unable to benefit. In fact, Ricard had fouled Michael Dubry.
I think Merson, after he got the break to go between Di Matteo and Lasso, should have attacked LeBeuf as well.
It's an interesting role for Paul Merson, wide on the right-hand side, and in addition to keeping Lasso in his place, he's giving Chelsea plenty to think about out there.
Oh yeah, he's a good outlet. I mean, that's one of the great sort of values of the player. He can play either side of the attack, and in probably his best position is behind the front players, but he's certainly doing a very, very effective job for the team at the moment.
And the chase back here as Lasso comes forward. And that's found Hughes, and that's a terrific stop. Mark Hughes caught hold of that. And goodness only knows how it was kept out. LeBeuf surviving the challenge on Branca, but at the other end, Schwarzer surviving a brilliantly hit shot by Mark Hughes.
I mean, that's vintage Hughes, isn't it? One touch in the box with his least favoured foot as well, his left.
Merson forward towards Branca, a little too long.
That was the first time that Lasso had really ventured into the danger zone. Quality ball in, and that's an instant. He doesn't get a sighting of it. Great save from the keeper. Great piece of football from both sides there.
So the good height for Schwartz, but nonetheless, the reaction to the pace that Hughes got on the ball was terrific. Di Matteo in there again. Zola's chance this time. Well, he felt deflected wide, but he didn't really get hold of the shot in the way that he wanted.
That was a glorious chance. And no one will be more thankful he's missed it, I would think, than big Nigel Pearson for that. It may have got a deflection, but Zola knows himself. He should have killed this. There's the ball into his path. Slung it wide. I would think Zola last year would have cracked that right into the roof of the net.
He has been back to something like his best in the last 2 or 3 games. He's got a couple of goals in his last 3 matches after more than 3 months without a goal.
I must say, I know he's reported Zola to enjoy that role, playing right up alongside the main striker. I always think he's far more effective when he's dropping off into the areas the sort of Cantona did and Bergkamp does so well for Arsenal.
And he's playing for his World Cup place now, left out of the last Italian squad. Aware that Cesare Maldini will be watching matches of this import. I wonder whether he did the right thing, leaving himself out of the entire picture.
I tell you what does surprise me, you read stories about the stressing that he's under. 7 weeks in the job, 1 final, another semi-final.
You're saying wait till he hits a bad patch. Here's Zola. Swung in towards Hughes. Schwarzer kept it out. Well, that was a less convincing save by Mark Schwarzer. I don't think there was quite as much pace on Hughes' header as he anticipated, but he managed to shovel it away.
Yeah, they dug this one out, and really, I think there's a slip by Vickers there in the box, but Hughes has all of a sudden started to find space in the penalty box between the 2 central defenders. Keeper's done all right there, actually. He's gone early, but he still managed to focus on the ball.
Good spell for Chelsea. Zola, who's had perhaps the best of the 3 chances, takes the corner. And come through for Di Matteo. Just a whisker away. Adding to his historic goal here last May.
Certainly a big spell now for Chelsea, isn't this? Popping it about, the ball, even a lucky run out to Di Matteo. And I thought for all the world, I thought he'd scored there. I mean, he's hit it as clean as a whistle. The keeper's not going to stop it. And that's just about shaved the outside of the post.
Goalless, but not chanceless. Chelsea perhaps had the better sights of goals. Certainly, Mark Hughes forced the best save of the first half from Mark Schwarzer. But when you think what a nightmare the first half of the FA Cup final was for Middlesbrough, they'll be happy enough with their share of the opening 45 minutes, where their goalkeeper has had to make two smart stops to keep out Mark Hughes. At the break, it's Chelsea 0, Middlesbrough 0, the second half of the Coca-Cola Cup final coming up after the break. Welcome back to the big match. Chelsea took only a passing interest in this competition until they had scraped into the semi-finals via 2 penalty shootouts. Ruud Gullit was more experimental than usual with his team selections for the Coca-Cola Cup, shall we say. His successor has had a huge experiment today in leaving himself out, that's for sure. Hughes. Wise. Petrescu. Isn't the best of return balls. Townsend got there, but his tackle was not to referee Jones's liking, and there's a yellow card on the way here. A fancy for Andy Townsend.
Yeah, unfortunately, Andy just doesn't make this, you know, and he's actually pushed his hands into the guy's face.
Ow.
That's a little bit of self-preservation as well.
Here's Merson. And here goes Rickard. Sinclair is the defender. He's bumping and bobbling in front of De Hoy, but Frank Sinclair's pace was crucial there for Chelsea.
That's a lovely little slotted ball there, but Sinclair is big, fast and strong. But the goalkeeper's getting all sorts of a mess.
End result is a Middlesbrough corner. Merson takes. Fester is there. Well, there were 2 jumping with him, and he couldn't control the header.
Could, of course, be psychological as well, Gascoigne warming up. So already you get the buzz from the crowd, the atmosphere from the Middlesbrough fans, they've lifted a bit.
Merson. Pearson. Run for Townsend. Helped on now towards Rickard. Sinclair is there again. And just as well for Chelsea and De Hoy that he was.
Yeah, I got a feeling there, you know, I mean, that's a good ball of Andy Townsend. Lovely weighty pass through. Rickard really should be favourite on this. Full mark Sinclair, strong again. Second time in about 3 minutes. Rickard should really have dealt with it. Rickard should have been putting him in the lead there.
This is Mustoe. Merson. That's a terrific pass from Paul Merson. Robbie Mustoe couldn't clear LaBeouf at the near post. So looking for Hughes, but finding only Kinder. Hughes looking for Kinder. No foul. Dennis Wise. Only Zola up. Pearson back. Townsend tidy. Graham Lasso. Roberto Di Matteo. Gianfranco Zola. Here's Dan Petrescu. It's Zola! Ah! Hit the crossbar. Short and nowhere near it. Moment of pure class from Gianfranco Zola. Chelsea still on the attack with Di Matteo. Hughes. Di Matteo again. 2 escapes for the Middlesbrough goal, with 2 Italians turning on the star.
Some great setting up play here between the Italians. And you have to say, when he's hit that, you think that's going nowhere else but the back of the net. Middlesbrough ride the lock, and then he comes out the end of some more play. There it goes, that's the earlier shot, the curl against the bar. And then only seconds later, similar setting up play, positions reversed. And it looks very much as Di Matteo's going to score.
Hello. It's 25 minutes past 4 on the 29th of March, 1998. And another chapter in one of English football's greatest dramas, greatest soap operas, greatest variety shows is about to begin. Paul Gascoigne is back in the English game. Let me entertain you. He's come on with 25 of the 90 minutes remaining. Di Matteo to Zola. Down goes Hughes, caught by Pearson.
Skipper's protesting that Sparky ran into him there.
But he ran into him in a very good position for Chelsea.
Zola land.
Number 25, hands on hits. Di Matteo, 16, is there. Lasso, 14, is there.
I would guess he wants almost a carbon copy of his shot in open play, except a fraction lower.
Approaching the midpoint in the second half. It's Zola. It's over.
Yeah, he's well away on that one, isn't he?
Dubry. By Vickers. Hughes wanted it played into his chest or to his feet. This is Zola. Another change of direction. Wise. Foul by Gascoigne. And the first statistic of Paul Gascoigne's career with Middlesbrough is a yellow card. Of course, his last appearance in an English club game was when he was stretchered off 60 minutes into the FA Cup final here in 1991. There is the yellow. Lasso and Zola are the two men standing over the ball. It's Zola. Virtually the same position for which Pearce scored, wasn't it? Maybe they should have gone with the left back, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, I actually fancied Lasso might have had a pop at that one. But it was a reckless tackle there from Gascoigne.
Oh, and Wise jumped across him a little bit there.
That is a scandalous challenge from Wise. If they used to share the same room, I don't know what they got up to. I mean, that's bad enough, the first one. Oh, that's a Cantona-style one.
Gascoigne was using his right arm here, flailing in rather typical fashion to see Newton off, but what came next was X certificate, PG.
He's a lucky boy.
Ball has fallen for Marco Branco, and he was fouled by Frank Leboeuf. Going to be a yellow card for the Frenchman, I think.
He's used all his experience in this match. Branco has been a lone raider an awful lot, but he's given Leboeuf a lot of problems today. Leboeuf hasn't fancied too much playing against him.
Little over 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Extra time is looming. Penalties maybe beyond that. Unless Paul Gascoigne can influence the final in these closing moments. It's Gascoigne's free kick. Oh, there's a heady chance for Neil Maddison.
What they've done very well, Middlesbrough, on set plays, you know. They've missed out their two big guys. Whenever they have a free kick, Pearson and Vickers go up, and they actually run the big defensive headers under the ball, and that's about the third time Maddison's got in on a free kick.
For the second year running, the Coca-Cola Cup final will go to extra time, 0-0 after 90 minutes. What's different this year is that there cannot be a replay. If these two cannot be divided in extra time, penalties will decide the outcome of a domestic final for the first time. Join us on the big match after the break. Welcome back to the big match for extra time at Wembley. The fourth time in this Coca-Cola Cup run that Chelsea have needed overtime. Second time for Middlesbrough. But what about last year when Emil Heskey equalised here 2 minutes from the end of extra time, and then Jamie Hewitt at Old Trafford for Chesterfield with a minute of the FA Cup semi-final to go. And then Steve Claridge in extra time at Hillsborough in the Coca-Cola Cup final replay, all in the space of 10 days. Extra time heartbreak for Middlesbrough. So has run a corner kick to commence this period of 15 minutes, 15 more to come. And then it's the fairground shootout. Flo, the obvious target, and the berth is in there. So too are Dubry and Sinclair. Steve Clark is now joining them. Hooked in by Zola. Headed away by Festa. Brian Robson, 3 times an FA Cup winner here. Scored 3 goals in those finals. Never won this competition. Gascoigne. Here's Maddison. Festa has got forward ahead of him. Gascoigne lifted back into Maddison. Play back to Merson. And the berth just managed to get body between Merson and the ball. And I can see the corner.
Yeah, some excellent interplay there between Maddison and Gascoigne. For a brief second, you know, you think he's going to hit this first ball. He feels he can take it on. Full marks to LaBerth, and some great last-ditch defending.
Corner kick which Merson will take. Headed by Clark, only as far as Musto. Newton had picked his pocket. Cleverly done by Zola for Wise. Plenty happening to Wise's left. This is Flo. Turn away from Gascoigne. Here's Lasso arriving on the scene. And now Di Matteo. Still Di Matteo. Well, they had Flo coming in behind him. He wasn't aware of that. One of them, Merson. Gascoigne, I don't know whether he tried to let that run, but it's fallen for Sinclair. This is Zola. Wise free on the right-hand side. 4 Chelsea men waiting for a cross. Wise took it back, and there's Sinclair! And there's the goal that Chelsea have been waiting for. It's come from Frank Sinclair. Dennis Wise hooked it across when the ball seemed to have run beyond him, and Frank Sinclair popped up in the Middlesbrough penalty area to head Chelsea into the lead with 5 minutes of extra time play.
Yeah, it all stems from that little bit of a misunderstanding with the 1-2 that didn't quite work. You thought then that Dennis Wise had actually overrun it, but he's hit a fabulous crossing. I wonder, look, it looks as if he's overrun it. He gets it back in place. Sinclair arrives, downward header. I just wonder about Schwarzer there, whether he may have got a stronger arm on it. Decent header, but not a phenomenal header.
Well, 10 days ago, when Chelsea really needed a goal against Real Betis at Stamford Bridge, Frank Sinclair was the unlikely source of a goal. Kinder. Sinclair just barged in. He's had a pretty good day, though, Frank Sinclair. Made a couple of terrific interventions to halt Ricard earlier in the game. Now scored a goal which separates the two teams and which brings Mikael Beck forward as an emergency substitute for Neil Maddison. He's been on the bench the last 5 matches, has Beck. and has lost his place in the Danish squad as a result of losing his place in the Middlesbrough team. Gascoigne, that's a lovely pass for Merson. Turned away from Leboeuf. He's now fed Marco Branca for Middlesbrough. Forced the save from De Hoy. It's the best side of goal that Branca's had in the final. Here is Mikkel Beck. Vladimir Kinder, Paul Gascoigne. Through to Paul Merson. It's Branca, it's Merson. We have Fester running free to his right. Steve Clark made a terrific challenge in the Chelsea cause. Dennis Wise on the ball, Zola to his left. Wise trying to commit the defenders. And Gascoigne commits a foul. Gascoigne with a yellow card to his name.
I think there's a bit of leniency there. This is a definite booking. Oh, that is a definite booking. The referee's done Paul Gascoigne a favour there.
Last time Gascoigne was involved in a League Cup campaign, it was ended by Chelsea. It's Tottenham days, 91, quarter-final. Last minute of the first period of extra time. It's been good to Chelsea so far. So, standing over the ball. Sets up Frank Leboeuf. A real clout he gave it.
Oh, that is inches. As you said, he hasn't half-tanked that one.
Zola. Newton to Wise. So is hugging the touchline. Three others in the attack. Wise trying to curl it himself. Half-time in extra time, and Dennis Wise, who may just be 15 minutes away from collecting the Coca-Cola Cup, knows that Chelsea have taken a huge stride in that direction in the last 15 minutes, thanks to Frank Sinclair's goal. 1-0 they lead. And it is getting a little desperate now for Middlesbrough. Wise on the ball for Chelsea, playing with more assurance. Tora Andre Flo. He's got past Pearson, it's Flo. Schwarzer kept him out. I think Flo should actually beat the hands of Mark Schwarzer, but he managed to get his body in the way.
Yeah, it's a smooth pass, and it's a very, very good run of Andre Flo. Yeah, it's good, intelligent goalkeeping, that.
Chelsea corner, which Zola will take. He's found a way through, and Di Matteo has made it 2-0. Oh, soft goal, but such an important goal for Chelsea. It's given them clear breathing space and a clear sight of the Coca-Cola Cup. Roberto Di Matteo, who broke Middlesbrough hearts with a goal inside a minute here last May, has maybe broken their resolve in the Coca-Cola Cup final in the second period of extra time.
Just trying to figure what Robbie Mustoe was doing there, whether somebody called, or why did he duck, or what? Or has he lost his footing? Maybe lost his footing. But Di Matteo's gone right in amongst the crowd scene, and really, as you say, a simple goal. Well taken by Di Matteo, but Middlesbrough defenders will be kicking themselves there.
It's Chelsea 2, Middlesbrough 0. Roberto Di Matteo's 9th goal of the season. And Middlesbrough now are in need of something miraculous from Gascoigne and co. It's Fester, though. Hung up towards Mikkel Beck. Just wouldn't fall for Branca or for Mustoe, who were in there. It fell for De Hoy. So looking for Flo. Got past Pearson, it's Tora Andre Flo, and Di Matteo puts that one over the bar. But Middlesbrough on the rack now, chasing the game.
Very deceptive here, Flo. You know, he stop, straightens Pearson up. Got that little trick in his locker, goes back the other way. Di Matteo unlucky not to be on the sheet again.
Townsend. Gascoigne. This is Mikael Beck. Di Matteo is now penalised. What a roller coaster ride they've had to enjoy in the last couple of years. Free kick quickly taken by Gascoigne. Di Matteo. Sinclair. Newton. Zola. Still Zola. And Chelsea threatening to score more now. Middlesbrough looking a little dishevelled, a little disheartened and very, very tired. Last 6 minutes. So. Gascoigne to Mustoe. Now Merson. Gascoigne again. Did it against Dennis Wise. He felt that Wise handled it. Di Matteo charging forward, 3 against 3 here momentarily. Flow. Play back to Wise.
Yes, a bit of kindness now the referee blew up the Brian Robson's men. They put too much into the game to be humiliated the way it's starting to take shape now.
So here's Newton again. Won by Mustoe. Now Merson. Wise got back there with the challenge. The decision has gone Middlesbrough's way. Now can they possibly conjure up something here to give us a grandstand finish? 4 more minutes of extra time remaining. Merson takes. It's won by Vickers. Pearson!
It's a lovely inviting ball. Vickers can't quite get around the back of it, and Pearson, big Nigel, would have scored the greatest goal of his career, I would guess, if that had gone in.
No shortage of spirit out there in Middlesbrough shirts. I think there's too much energy remaining.
Certainly the second goal. The first goal didn't help the morale. Second goal's completely knocked the stuffing out of them.
Gascoigne hammering the ball against Flo. Trying to turn it on. It almost came for Robbie Mustoe, but he fouled Frank Leboeuf.
I have to say, considering his injury record, Gascoigne, I'm a bit surprised to see him making that sort of challenge.
What would be your observations on his temperament record on what we've seen?
Today, he's obviously had a great desire to play the game. He's wanted the ball all along. I just wonder whether he's still got anything like that old explosion.
But it's amazing, isn't it? Sunderland were the last North East team to win a major trophy here in '73. Ian Porterfield, Bob Stokoe, Jim Montgomery and all that. They've been back since. Newcastle may be coming back this season yet. Middlesbrough now have had 3 great chances. They were all together in the top flight last season. They may all be together again in the top flight next season. But which of these 3 admirable clubs is going to end the long way? Chelsea had to wait a long time themselves, but it's all happening now. Di Matteo looking for his second.
I think he's been magnificent today, Di Matteo.
Not a bad start in management, this. Chelsea have won the Coca-Cola Cup for Gianluca Vialli. They waited 26 years of fun and games without a trophy before Ruud Hullit's FA Cup winning team hoisted the blue flag again here last year. A club that has lost none of its flamboyance and notoriety, may be losing its reputation for flattering to deceive. 2 Wembley triumphs inside a bewildering year, and a European semi-final to come in the coming week. And thanks to extra-time goals from Frank Sinclair and Roberto Di Matteo, Chelsea have beaten Middlesbrough at Wembley once again to win the Coca-Cola Cup final by 2-0. Only 3 captains in the history of Chelsea Football Club have collected major trophies, and Dennis Wise is one of those. And that is maybe why Gianluca Vialli, the manager, has been ushered forward to collect the Coca-Cola Cup from the Home Secretary, the Right Honourable Jack Straw MP. Dennis Wise himself has been voted man of the match and will collect the Alan Hardacre trophy. But after the FA Cup at Middlesbrough's expense last year, it's the Coca-Cola Cup and an assurance of European football this year. The good times are rolling again at the bridge.
Dennis, FA Cup winning captain last season. This season, the Coca-Cola Cup, but it was hard work.
It was hard work. That was a lot better than last year, Middlesbrough. They looked like a team playing with confidence, and they are. They made it very hard for us, and it was a very difficult game.
Why did you not play yourself or become substitute today?
Because I had a great confidence in Sparky, Gianfranco. I was sure that Torre is better than me if he has to come on. And as you said, he was immediately into in the game, and he created a lot of chances for ourselves. So this was the team I was sure that wouldn't let me down.
But it was a great cross from you in the end.
Yeah, it was a great cross, and but it's a good header. Basically, you need someone to get on the end of something, and Frank Sinclair did, and it was a great header, and that's what we just needed.
Does it take some of the stress away? You're feeling a bit more relaxed now?
Yeah, at least we've got a place in the European Cup next season without waiting the end of the season, and this give us a bit more, you know, happy time.
First half we were by far the better team, but you know, through the game we didn't make enough chances, and if you don't make chances, you don't win football matches.
Would it make any difference if Gascoigne had played the whole match, do you think?
You never know. I mean, Gaza wasn't quite 100% fit. He needs a few matches under his belt to get that way. You know, but he shows bits of quality and everything when he's on a football pitch. So hopefully he'll come strongly for us for the end of the season.
Bit of a sickener, isn't it? 3 times you reach Wembley on the bounce and 3 times you lose.
Yeah, that's right. Once it gets so close, it is disappointing. But in saying that, I wouldn't mind coming back to Wembley every year.
We expected ourselves to win today, so I don't know whether many people did, but we thought we got enough to actually beat them today. So we're very disappointed. I think extra time, really, they turned the screw once they got the first goal.